Stood up, by the way. I'm so uncomfortable. If I'm moving around, you're just gonna have to allow my life. I'm just like, I can't sit down at my desk any longer. I've been there all day. I'm in pain. We're moving. Itchiness. Well, I think I've got a rash here now. So I've got a new one. No idea what that one's from. Bites. Oh, horrendous. But I think there's only been one since this morning or since I woke up. And it might not have been new because they're all down the right hand side of my leg or all up my back. And I'm a bit like, what? Sorry, I'm just muting everybody. But there's a teeny tiny one on the left leg, but right on the inside. And then when we did the dog walk, so yesterday there were no midges out because it was raining and they just didn't come out to play. Today, fucking everywhere, literally out in force, like going through all these swarms of them. And I'm thinking, great, we might wake up with this tomorrow. And apparently, they really like pregnant women. So it's it's like another thing that we just get. I'm like, yay. Oh, but yeah, so at the minute they look horrendous because I'll be honest, I can't stop itching them, and you need to stop itching them for them to heal, and I can't. Even at 2 o'clock in the morning, I was up like scratching my skin off. Yeah, everyone keeps saying I need to get this stuff, and I never do. I just grin and bear, suck it up, and eventually they will go. But yeah, I don't think it was a house. I was just paranoid. Deep cleaned everything. No harm in doing that, apart from exhaustion and not getting a Sunday to yourself. But there we go. Right, there's more of you now. So we will crack on. Bear with while I share my screen. Yeah, I did hit the record button, didn't I? I'm like, did I? Let's make it massive. Actually, before I go into this, I did not realize because you just don't as a business owner. Monday, a week today, is a bank holiday again. So apparently, it's also going to be a very hot bank holiday weekend. And we always know there is a correlation between the weather and bank holidays and potential derailment inside of the program. Now, again, this is not a dictatorship and it never will be. You need to set out with your intentions. What are your intentions for this bank holiday weekend? Are you going to allow yourself a little bit of grace on maybe the actual bank holiday itself? Are you planning to stick to everything? Are you still going to go hashtag never miss a Monday? Like, what is your routine going to look like? Are you in a position where you think, yeah, you know what, I've earned the right to take that day? Or actually, no, you know what? I go on holiday in 3 weeks' time and I still need to lock in. So it's those kind of considerations that you guys have got to make. It's not a dictatorship, as I say. You've got to make your decisions and be okay with it. But if you want any support from us, if you've got any plans, anything like that, then obviously just let us know. And we'll be going through anything like this in the check-in anyway. But it's just as a reminder. And I'm pretty sure it's half term for a lot of you guys. It moves. It moves. It depends where you are in the UK. I can never follow it. But again, this is another thing. If you've got children off or you're off, a lot of you guys teach those kind of things, right? How am I going to manage this? Some of you guys might think, oh, I've got loads of time because I'm off work. Some of you might be thinking, God, I've got even less time because the kids are at home. So you've just got to, like, again, piss poor planning leads to piss poor performance. So think about it. There's time to actually try and get ahead of yourselves and go, right, what is my strategy and how do I actually want to approach this? And then you stick to it. You have the discipline to say, this was what I decided. I'm going to follow through on my word because I am good for my word. Okay. So Emma, shout out for the charity walk. She raised over £5,000 with some of the other women that did the walk as well, which is obviously absolutely incredible. So well done. Undies, this was a later shout out. She actually achieved it last week, but I still think four half marathons is bloody impressive. Do you know what I mean? There's no small feat about that. And again, I don't love running. But for those of you who do, that's an incredible achievement. So well done. And then everybody who really filled in the what have you got coming up question, because this was great from a coaching perspective. Coach Kat said it this morning in our meeting. I acknowledged it as well. And I thought, I'm so glad I put that question in because it is really, really helpful for us to know, right, okay, we're not just, do you know what I mean? The whole point of the check-in is to actually, we are looking back, but we want to coach going forwards as well. So it's trying to get that balance right between getting the questions so that we can actually do the check-in to the best of our ability. I think the odd one of you still said, oh, I forgot about this, but it was a lot less. So we'll take that as a massive win. So, binge eating and snacking. So, what actually is it? What is it? And I mean, a lot of you guys might even be very familiar with this, but essentially, it is consuming large amounts of food in a short period of time, often accompanied by a sense of loss of control. Triggers usually include emotional distress, it could be work stress, it could be boredom, restrictions, or environmental cues like the availability of high calorie foods, low nutritionally dense performing foods. So, those are the kind of things that we're talking about here. So, why do we do it? And I imagine, and it's really interesting as well, because I've been coaching a client for probably nearly 18 months. And she was impacted by this really recently. So, an emotional trigger that created this kind of snacky Sally that we refer to it as, make it a bit lighthearted. But she was like, I never knew I did that. And she was like, clearly I do because I've had a higher emotional trigger point. And she's like, this is the first time I've actually needed to steer through this in the time inside of the program. So it can hit anybody at any one time. Some of you guys, it will be a lot more frequent and we want to kind of widen the gaps. And some of you guys, it might take something a little bit deeper to actually happen for it to sort of trigger that feeling. But the common ones are stress, especially the kinds of women that you guys are inside of this program, boredom, especially if you're kind of working from home and that fridge is not too far away. Loneliness can also be another one where you're feeling, but it's usually attached to some kind of an emotion. And that's what we actually want to look at. But there are some physiological triggers as well. So, hunger due to skipping meals. As you all know, we have two rules inside of StrongHER. One is we never skip meals. Two is we never fucking skip breakfast. They sound the same, but weirdly, people interpret that completely differently. So, by doing that, you are more likely to turn to said kind of items. And again, that's not what we're trying to do. Restriction as well is another big one. So there are coaches out there, and more, I'd probably say it is more so in the bodybuilding world, or where they attach a photo opportunity within a very short amount of coaching time. So it might be like, right, we're going to do a photo shoot 12 weeks from now. They will drop your calories to around 800 calories a day just to get you primed to that. One of my good friends is a bodybuilder. 600 calories a day is what she was given 2 weeks out before her event. Now, again, that's a lifestyle, and she did lose her period. Her hair started falling out. Do you know what I mean? There are clues of what not to do. But then what likely happens is you enter this kind of binge restriction cycle, and we don't want to be doing that. So we want to keep calories reasonable, even though we're in a caloric deficit. Then habitual habits as well. So some of you guys might do this. My old housemate, years and years ago, she used to do this, and like I've never seen it before, but she used to every single night religiously. She had this giant tub of Nutella, and she had the breadsticks that you buy, and she would literally just sit there scooping it out. But every single night she would do this, and that's a habitual trigger. She would just sit there watching TV, and she would just do that out of habit without even questioning what she was doing. But also, 9 times out of 10, she never made dinner. Do you know what I mean? She never actually ate any real food for dinner. It was then just going to be Nutella and the breadsticks. So those kind of things are what we want to be looking out for. So why do we snack excessively? So like I say, this role of restriction, and this is one of the reasons why I will never love fasting. Fasting technically is just another way of putting you into a caloric deficit by shortening the window of opportunity that you have to eat. So you might have your first meal at 11 o'clock in the morning, your last meal at maybe 5 o'clock at night, and then you're fasting all of that window. It's far too long, far, far too long. And also, when we say, you can't have this. You cannot have it. Now, I'm in two minds on this one, and I think this completely depends on the woman and the circumstances. In an ideal world, we would never want to say to you, you can't have the thing. You can't have it. Don't eat chocolate. Don't eat crisps. Don't eat all of these things. Like I personally far prefer to coach an 80-20 rule of balance. However, if we need to go cold turkey on something and it is clearly not serving you and you can't just have a little bit and stop and you're going to smash like 500 calories or whatever it might be, that's obviously going to be a moment that we're going to start to say, right, okay. But this is the other thing as well. Like there will be clues. If your weight is not moving in the right direction, and your nutrition log is not reflecting any of this. And this does happen from time to time where we almost have to get you to admit. It's much easier if you just admit it straight away. There is no shame in doing that. There's no point in hiding it. Because again, we can intervene with the coaching far, far earlier if you can say, fuck, I keep doing this thing. And then we might have to have the conversation about taking it away and saying, look, we need to take away the Nutella, or we need to take away, like I know Jem, bless her, openly put about I think it was the Freddo frogs. Freddo frogs, is that what we call them? The chocolate bar thing. Where she was like, I can't stop at one. This again is where we might need to pivot the snack. We might need to say, if we're not stopping at one and there's no real reason for that, as in, okay, if it might just be a couple of days before her period and it only happens infrequently, but if it's happening all the time, this is where we've got to say, look, take a step back from those and actually maybe try and introduce something that's a high protein snack instead as a better alternative, just for the time being, and then we might be able to bring the thing back in. So why do these things happen? So biological factors, so your low blood sugar levels, or so again, this is kind of like the fasting, the people that skip breakfast. It's this kind of sense of where what you are essentially doing is you're crashing your blood sugar off a cliff. And when you do that, this is where you're spiking your hunger hormones and your satiety hormones. So they're going, oh my God, I need to eat anything and I need to eat it right now. Most of the highest convenient foods that you will ever have access to are likely to be a lot more highly processed. So if you think, fuck, I need something right away, it's more likely to be a packet of crisps. It's more likely to be a chocolate bar. It's more likely to be the things and the stuff that are readily available. And what it's not likely to be is something like a tuna pasta salad. What it's not likely to be is, I don't know, salmon, potatoes, and vegetables, because guess what? You've got to go out of your way to cook it. But I think even if you're in a supermarket, even if you are buying whatever of choice, when you are like, when people say, don't ever let me go shopping hungry, there is a reason for that. And that's why, because you are going to be, your brain is just going to be going quick, quick, feed, feed, feed. And you are going to be making a lot stodgier choices. And it is just a biological factor. It's really hard to override that. So what we have to do is try and prevent getting there in the first place. Psychological factors. So this is more the emotional side of things. So using it as a coping mechanism for stress, for sadness, for boredom. It might even be grief. It could be like there's a whole host of different reasons why we might turn to that. And again, anyone that has heard my alcohol stories, that's what I was doing. And it's not always just with food, it can be with alcohol. And also, it might not actually ever be something to do with calories. So some people have an addiction to online shopping. So they might literally get really, really sad. And what they do is buy a shit ton of clothes, drive themselves into debt because that's their outlet. Or it might be that they become gambling addicts and they're constantly playing those games on their phone to try and, that's a stress release, that's a chasing chasing sensation of feeling like I'm chasing this goal, bingo. Even some people playing the bingo, I'd probably say that might even fall into the environmental factor, where people over a certain age and they just bet away their entire pension. And you kind of go, oh, okay, maybe not ideal, but this is it. So it's usually a coping mechanism. It's usually a feeling of escapism. And again, it's the feeling of going, I need a dopamine hit. I'm really sad right now. And you know what? Whenever I eat chocolate, I feel better. But you're only going to feel better for the moment that the chocolate is actually on your mouth and then you swallow it. And once it's gone and you've realized, fuck, I've just eaten an entire family size share bar, you are going to enter a shame loop. You are going to feel that moment of going, oh, fuck, what have I done? Why did I do that? Now I hate myself. But then that's going to lead into it again. And all you're doing is then driving yourself further down. So, again, this is why you have to reach out to us in these moments. We might not be able to get back to you in that moment, literally right away, but we might be able to then prevent it from going forward. So, really, really important to be as honest and transparent as you can with us on this. And like I say, the environmental factors, accessibility of highly processed, calorie dense snacks, bit of a sad one, really, but things like birthday parties with children, you're likely to find this where it is quite highly processed foods and it is going to be like some of the stuff that's not necessarily as nutritionally dense, those kind of moments. But again, you can see how you could be weak in those moments and be like, oh my fucking God, like, do you know what I mean? I've packed my lovely salad and I'm looking at all of these sausage rolls and the cocktail sausages, and I'll be the first to admit that's probably some of my favorite food. Do you know what I mean? I love that kind of thing. So I'm as normal as the rest of us, but again, I want to make sure there is some goodness on that plate as well. But yeah, again, parties, gatherings, this is a big one with alcohol as well. You will know if your friendship group or people that you are surrounding yourself with, if they are a bit of a tug on the alcohol side, where it's like, oh, you can't possibly not drink, or peer pressure. You need to be really mindful of that. And I also think I think it's okay to say, no, you know what? I'm on a health and fitness journey at the minute. I've got a holiday around the corner. I'm going to be enjoying my holiday, but right now, I don't want to do that. You know what? I'm going to be okay having my own thing. And it's okay often to prep your own food to take with you. If you are going to a social occasion or even hosting something, it's okay to put some healthy food out, or it's okay to have this is my portion. So everyone else can help themselves to whatever they want, but I've already determined this is what I'm going to be having. And once it's gone, it is gone. So, how do we actually prevent it? So, balancing your meals is going to be one of the biggest ways. So, actually getting that really beautiful split where we talk about, like, if you look at a dinner plate, you got 25% protein, 25% carbohydrates, and then the rest is like vegetable salads. It's all of that. That's always going to benefit you. Making sure that you're getting your fiber in as well, healthy fats, and keeping that protein high. It is no secret why we have a high protein diet inside of StrongHER. That is very much the reason why. It is keeping you fuller for longer. It is benefiting your muscles. It's benefiting your recovery. All of these juicy things are coming from protein. And only eating one meal a day or not eating structured in a structured way is definitely not serving you. And I would also say to this, if you're really struggling or you're really overwhelmed, I would, and there's been a few of you that I've said this to actually in check-ins this week. I would go out and I would get the sexiest Tupperware boxes the world has ever seen. Amazon will sell them as well. Places like Home Bargains. Get your sexy Tupperware, right? Do your fucking meal prep on a Sunday and a weekend. Take a little bit of time out to go, right, I'm going to boil some eggs. They're on the hob. Now I'm going to cook some salmon, or I'm going to get some tins of tuna, or I'm going to cook some chicken in the slow cooker and I'm going to shred it all up, or this, that, and the other. And I'm going to make a giant salad. I'm going to do a little bit of pasta or a little bit of couscous, whatever the fuck you want to make it up with. Do you know what I mean? That's your prerogative. But we're again choosing the good stuff, the nice, healthy, nutritionally dense stuff. And you go, right, and now I'm going to make up my stuff. I'm going to make up, and you might do overnight oats if you're into that kind of thing. Or you might do your granola yogurt pots. Again, you can put them in ahead of time. And then you've got all of the meals, even if you don't necessarily need to do evening, depending on if you eat as a family, you might still do all of that. But do that and set yourself up for success. If you're really struggling on the nutritional front or on the snacking front, like I say, get your sexy Tupperware out, plan it in advance. Just do that for a couple of damn weeks. Just know that you can move the needle by doing really basic nutritional choices. And like I say, you can keep your carb the same if you want and just alternate your protein or alternate your condiments if you're going, right, okay, quite happy to eat the same thing quite often, but I just want it to flavorly taste different. Do that. Do you know what I mean? I honestly think all you need to do is see the needle move for a couple of weeks on the trot. Plan it, prep it, organize it, get your shit together on that, and then you'll be like, wow, right, okay. Now I understand how. Then we can start to get a little bit more complexity to it, and we can start to be like, right, okay, now I can bring in a bit of this, or I can switch that for this, or maybe if I actually don't prep my evening meals, but they're my family time, so that's fine, I'm not going to do them, and then we can start to play around a little bit once you've got the confidence. But we just want to see, excuse me, that needle moving. And again, as long as you're prioritizing that protein, you're having your meals, you're planning your snacks, and you're doing it around your schedule, your routine to say, right, I'm usually a bit hungry about this time. I'm gonna have a little box of raisins or whatever it might fucking be. Do you know what I mean? It could be literally anything. I've got so many raisins. I've got dates. Dates, that's how my life is at the minute, because apparently they there are studies showing they bring on natural pregnancy, like natural labor. So in a Mediterranean diet, so I'm on the dates diet now, just as a snack for just so we're clear. I eat lots of things. Right, we want to identify this as well. So, keeping a food and a mood journal. Now, you guys can do this in your daily check-ins. You can say, I shit the bed a little bit here, or I feel so stressed. Or again, you can use your WhatsApp chat with us as well to communicate this with us. But you can put it anywhere. But if you want to keep it a bit more personal, where you actually write out how it is making you feel, you can do that. Do you know what I mean? Just keep a journal to say, today wasn't the best day, but actually, because like I can't stress it enough, the food and the drink, whatever it might be, is the outlet. It's not the cause, it's just the after effect. I want to bring it all the way back to the cause and go, what is making me do this thing? Why am I struggling with my snacking at the minute? It seems way higher. What is the causation behind that? Because if you can start to identify that, then you can develop non-food or non-alcohol related mechanisms. So again, journaling might be enough. It might make you go, right, okay, every time I feel a certain way, I just need to write it down. I just need to get my thoughts down on paper. It might be that you go, fucking hell, it's work stress. You know what? I just need to write a to-do list. I just need to get everything that's out of my brain on paper and I'm just going to order it in priority. It might be, again, work stress where you're going, I need some help. I need to delegate this. And you know what? It might not be done as well as I do it, but it's going to get done. And done is enough right now. So I need to do some delegation better. It could literally be having a conversation with a manager or somebody that you think, God, this is fucking stressing me out. I just need to get it off my chest. Like whatever it might be, like those little strategies might help. But if we don't know what they are, if we don't know what's causing the stress, those of you who get migraines as well, that's been happening a little bit recently. That's another clue. I used to get stress migraines, such would, all the time. And I'm talking like completely debilitating. Like I would be bedbound, blackout blinds, and until it's passed, and they're the ones where you lose your vision altogether. And I usually have the aura ones. I have about an hour window. If I don't get those drugs into my system in that hour, I am throwing up everywhere. I am a complete mess in a dark room, sick bucket, like, and I could be out for about 3 days. Now, You grow through what you go through. I do not suffer in the same way that I used to because I have developed significantly as a person. It takes a lot to cause me enough stress now to get to that point. It's not impossible for me to get there. I do still get the odd migraine, but I'm completely different. And I do have the medication to make sure that I'm always got it. And what I also used to do is put it in every handbag that I had as well. But this is it. There are some fucking clues. If you are getting to the point of stress migraines and they are then debilitating for you, you've got to bring it back. You've got to start going, why is this happening? What am I not managing well enough? Where do I need to develop as a person so that I can deal with this stress better? That's something to look at. Keeping a food journal to track your food patterns, identify triggers for binging and snacking, and like I say, that non kind of food relating, in the same way that we talk about when you want to practice some gratitude and go, oh my God, I've smashed this thing, or I deserve this. Trying to actually go, you know what, I don't need for this win to be food related. There are other things in life that we can actually get joy and pleasure from that are not always food. And we don't need to hunt down that dopamine fix immediately. It's that trying to break away from immediate gratification, I think serves people really well in this life. And I know the world is so fucking fast now. New phone, new TV. I need this, I need that, I need this, like car every 2 years. Da, 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 da. Like everything's just so fast, isn't it? And what we need and so immediate. Like, oh, I want to watch this on TV, Netflix, Amazon. Where is it? Like, gone, done, sorted. It's like we need to remember that sometimes delayed gratification is actually going to serve us too. So not immediately going, I'm stressed, I need a fix right now. Do you? Or can we actually just take a beat to just kind of calm down a little bit, re-regulate ourselves, and then actually see what the best course of action is? A supportive environment. So again, limiting access to trigger foods by keeping your environment stocked with healthier alternatives. So this is a great one. So your fruit trick. So where you say, right, okay, if I'm entering into one of these episodes where I really feel like I need the snack, I need the thing right now, have a piece of fruit first. Okay. So one trick you can do is proportion out your snacks for the day. Put it in like a little cute box, like something that makes you feel like, oh, that's my snack box. Do you know what I mean? This is where I go to for my snacks. I don't go to the cupboard. I don't go to the fridge. I go to my snack box and it's cute and it's exciting. Okay. And then you put a piece of fruit in there and you put your snacks in there, whatever it is for the day. You have the fruit first, and that gives you time to re-regulate. It gives you time to take a moment to slow down, but it also gives you time to go, I'm having something sweet. Is that taking the edge off? Am I doing this because I'm actually hungry? Or am I doing this because I'm emotional? Or I'm doing this because I'm dysregulating? Or I'm doing this because I feel a certain way? Or it's a natural instinct for me to do this and I need to start breaking that cycle. Now, if you're genuinely hungry and you have the fruit and you go, oh, I am actually fucking hungry, that's fine. Go on to have the snack. Or if you're in a place where you're in control again and it's allowed you to re-regulate, and you go, yeah, no, I actually am happy to have the bar of chocolate now because I feel calmer. I'm not making the decision out of a place of lust and out of dopamine. I'm actually making the decision because I'm in control. That's a great place to be. Set boundaries with social situations. And again, I love the idea of telling people I'm on a health and fitness journey. I like telling your partner, telling your friends, like whoever is around you, I really want you to support me in this, okay? So if I'm making decisions that might not feed my journey and they're feeding an immediate and emotional hit, I want you to kind of pull me up on it. If I'm not noticing myself do it, can you call me out on it? Or can you acknowledge that this is happening? And trying to prepare your environment in the sense of like Kat and I were talking about it this morning, like when she said the other day, she went to the cinema the other day and she took her own chicken wrap. She took her own chicken wrap. And I was talking about the fact that I buy my own sweet popcorn and it's like 62 calories a bag. Do you know what I mean? And I'm pregnant. Kind of a lot of the time you get a free pass to do whatever the fuck you want, but I still care I still care about my health and fitness. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I am going to get different cravings, not many to be fair, and I think the strawberries have passed, but this is it. It's like we can make different decisions. And again, it's that planning to decide, right, okay, I'm going to plan for this event. I'm going to make sure that I'm aware of what's coming up. And that's why I raised the bank holiday. We're raising half term. So you can kind of start to go, what am I doing? What are my plans? Do I need to put this in my check-in? Do I need support from my coach? How am I managing this environment that's about to come up? But yeah, um, also that recognizing like we've got to get rid of the all or nothing mindset that just because you do hit the fuck it button does not ruin progress. Like we have women who do hit the button, like fuck it button every few weeks, they still make sensational progress, right? And it's just going to be a work in progress. It's just something that we are working through, but it doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're somebody that we can't work on this. And it, again, a bit like that client I talked about where she hadn't experienced this for 18 months. So she'd been crushing it, then suddenly it goes, oh fuck. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like you're cured for life. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, right, we treat this and then you're done. It's not like that. There are going to be moments that tip the balance a little bit more one way or the other. We just want to make sure that we're moving in the right direction. So focus on progress over perfection. And if you notice it, tell us. So kind of touched on this, haven't I? That the carrying healthy snacks I've been talking about, my a bit like on there actually, my celery sticks, my carrot sticks, my pepper sticks with my salsa. I will have hummus as well. Do you know what I mean? But I like dippy snacks. I like things that make me go, ooh, bit of this or a bit of that. Or do you know what I mean? Or half celery, half carrots. It just makes you feel like it's exciting. And you've got different textures in there. You've got the crunch versus the kind of soft foods. Like it's about tricking your brain, like to making it go, ooh, okay. And again, they're low calories. Do you know what I mean? They're going to stretch so they can serve you. But with the right strategies and the right mindset, you can manage it effectively. And it's not about being perfect, it's about making consistent changes that align with your goals. So, we want to work together to build that healthier relationship with food and achieve lasting success. So, does anybody let me just stop that share. Does anybody have any questions on so dark chocolate and strawberries? Yes, yeah, I love that. I love that. And I know there's been a lot of chat, hasn't there? Some people don't like dark chocolate at all. Or and again, this is personal preference. And interestingly, I saw this on somebody's page with the dates to for me to because I don't think there's enough flavor to them for me. I just think they're a bit tasteless, or at least the ones I bought are. But people drizzle dark chocolate or peanut butter on their dates, and that's a snack. Do you know what I mean? A high fiber snack. Again, that's the kind of thing that you can do, and I'm doing it because I'm pregnant, but you can have that as a snack. It's not to say that you guys are going to go into labor if you do that. So it's that sort of thing going, right, okay, you know what? I might, yeah. And it's sweet. It's giving you that little bit of a sweet kick. Right. Does anybody have any questions about that? Because there was a really good question from Rachel in the group chat this morning. Just want to make sure I'm kind of getting it right. But I think she overran at the Apple store, and then it was a bit like, I'm not going to be eating until really late. What should I do? And I think she made, I would say, the right decision. Going to the food hall, trying to pick out some healthy options to the best of her ability. But yeah, again, for me, this comes back to trying your best to avoid skipping meals. Because if she'd have got home at like, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock at night or whatever it was, the chances of her then reaching for foods that are not going to be as nutritionally dense, it's really going to come up. Her hunger levels are going to spike, her hormones are going to tell her to do the things that she maybe doesn't want to do. And it's really hard to control that when we let that happen. So again, for me, if you're somewhere where there's an Apple store, there's likely to be an eatery of some description. So trying to, but again, the other thing to remember is life fucking happens. Sometimes we can control everything to the best of our ability. And then, I don't know, there's a big crash on the motorway and you sat there and you're like 2 miles away from the nearest service station and you can't get there for the next 3 hours because of the accident. Do you know what I mean? And then when you get into that service station, you might have the option of an M&S and you might have an option of a McDonald's and you go, I just fucking need the McDonald's right now. I need the McDonald's. These are not the moments that define us. These are the moments in between. It's the bigger stuff that we want to look at. It's the overall picture. Now, again, if you are every single weekend undoing it, or every single Tuesday, whatever it might be for you, that might be a pattern that needs breaking. But if we're talking about the odd occasional thing, like when's Rachel going to go into Apple and get oversteered by like 3, 4 hours and not leave until 9 o'clock at night again? That's not likely to happen, touch wood, Rach, but not for a long time. So it's okay for the odd occasion to be slightly off plan if that's what we need to do to get by. But my advice would be to fucking eat. We are human beings. We need fuel. We need to eat. Try and make the best choices that you can. But even if it's not, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's not a reoccurring theme with that kind of scenario. Right, any more for any more? Really good form checks, by the way, today. Have really loads of form checks have been coming my way. Actually, and Kat, because I know I was doing yours as well yesterday, Vicky. So this is it. So really, like, they're really good. Like, really keep them coming. And what was great as well, actually, was to see Ellen, your form and how far it's come, how far it's developed, because she was sending me videos from before StrongHER, a kind of ego lifting with squats, and it was like shit, versus her form now, which was like, chef's kiss, like impeccable. Like I literally said, don't do anything different. That you've got it now, nailed. That's the point in that. Thank you for addressing that. I now have a protein bar in my handbag. That's also a really good one. The same for the women who work on the road. Do you know what I mean? We coach a lot of women that do a lot of traveling. It's these kind of little tricks, or keeping things in your car, in your handbag, that sort of thing. Even if it might be a bloody Rice Krispie Squares bar, or like you say, a protein bar, or just something that's going to like a non-perishable, something that again it's just gonna fuel you for enough so that you can make better decisions rather than letting the hunger hormones take over. But yeah, really really good trick that as well, Rach. Love that. Chocolate covered as I can't be trusted with those. You will get there where you absolutely can be. Right, any more for any more? Anything else that anyone wants to bring up while we're here? Again, this is your time. This is your opportunity to go through anything that you feel like you might need. I feel like countdown, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Right, I'm going to assume we're all good. So again, use the group channels, any communications, any questions. You don't have to wait until obviously check in. You also don't have to wait until Monday Zooms. Like make the most of the community in the meantime. And yeah, let's have a fucking good week before everybody kind of with the sun and the weather and bank holiday starts making slightly different decisions. We can build up to that and we can still have a fucking good check-in. So let's make it happen, ladies. Bye bye.